All right, guys and gals, hope you all are having a good Sunday. I've had a good one. It's been really relaxing. So, you know, I just wanted to talk about a couple things, not specifically Cavell. This is not specifically a Cavell topic. And before I begin and talk about this, I want to preface this by saying I am a Cavell Anderson fan. I'm a big fan of his channel. In fact, I started doing YouTube specifically because first I saw Andre Jix YouTube video on Omi token, and then I started to look for other people in the YouTube community talking about Omi token, and I saw a couple, but Cavell Anderson definitely stood out. So I am still a fan of his. I don't dislike him. I in fact like his content. I think he's very funny and entertaining, and people come on YouTube not just for information, but they want to be entertained. And I think, how can you not say that Cavell has been entertaining, right? So the question is not, is his channel popular? Is he not entertaining? He is, but you know, is he clickbaity? And I just use him as an example. And the reason I want to talk about this a lot is because I myself have been involved in this type of conversation of, are YouTubers, ecomi veve YouTubers, maybe you can even say YouTubers in general, are they accountable for the titles on their videos? And I think there's a lot of people on different spectrums who would say yay and who would say nay, who maybe they don't even really care. But that's kind of what I wanted to talk about here. So, what did Cavell do? And I just want to use this as an example. I'm not trying to pinpoint him. I'm actually a supporter of his, so I'm kind of on his side more than against him. But we know that the veve Discord was hacked, right? This happened yesterday, right? It was hacked. And a lot of people were putting out the word on Twitter, veve Discord was hacked. Don't click the link, And unfortunately, some people did, and they lost a little bit of money. So that's unfortunate. But what people got onto Cavell for was that he titled a video. It was like a 2-minute, 38-second video, basically saying something along the lines of, actually, let me see if I can find that video he did. It was ecomi Omi veve. His original title was ecomi Omi veve has been hacked, not clickbait. And then, of course, he did eventually change the title to be more specific. veve Discord has been hacked. And a lot of people got onto him because I guess the implication there is that if you just looked at the title, you would assume that veve was hacked. And the question then is, are YouTubers, and I would even say myself included, YouTubers in general, are they responsible for the title that they write? And I have two thoughts here. One is, I am a big proponent of free speech. So even if someone said something that maybe is wrong, there's a difference between free speech and slander. And slander is when you say something about someone that's not true, and it causes them harm. That's slander. And then clickbait is kind of in a different category because it's not specifically a lie. It's not specifically designed to cause harm. It's designed to cause people to click on something, right? So is a title like that, and let's just even use my recent issues on YouTube as an example. When I said that, what did I say? Oh, I don't remember what I said. It was so long ago. Okay, here we go. What I really think about the Omi token, I sold, I'm done. I said that, right? And of course, if you watched the video, you would have realized that that didn't exactly happen. But the implication there was that I gave up on Omi. I sold all my tokens, presumably because I was tired about something or didn't like something, and then I was completely done with the community, which, so is that wrong? And like I said, like I was going, I have two thoughts about that, right? One is, I personally don't think that that's completely wrong, right? if you're on YouTube, if you're on TV, if you're a public figure of any sort, you need to catch people's attention. And unfortunately, people have a word for clickbait. It's clickbait. And the reason there's that term is because really it does work. So 80% of me feels like I don't think I did necessarily anything wrong. I don't think Cavell did anything wrong in the title of his video. So that being said, people can be damaged from titles like this, right? Cavell Anderson is very influential within the community. He's got like 12,000 subscribers. He puts out videos on a regular basis. People look to him. You know, he's a popular figure. But so there is a percentage of people that I don't know what the percentage is. I would assume it's 1%, but maybe there's 5% of people out there. Maybe for whatever reason, they look at the title and they assume certain things and they run with it. And maybe that causes them some damage. Like maybe, for example, they looked at a title that said, I'm done. I sold all my tokens. And maybe they saw that and they sold at a loss, blah, 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 blah. Could that have happened? Yeah, that could have happened. So I think there is some degree of responsibility that a content creator, especially in this space, has to their audience. Whether you like that person or not, there is, I think, an inherent responsibility, right? These creators have built a following. People trust them for better or for worse. They trust these people that they see on YouTube. So I will have to admit what I learned from all this situation is that I think creators do have some degree of responsibility. For example, someone shared this with me. What if some of my audience is not 100% English speaking? Maybe English is their second language or maybe even their third language. So they see a title that says Veve was hacked. They assume the worst. They watch the video. They can't understand. They can only understand one out of every three words. So they have this broken understanding of maybe what the video is about. And they go do something that maybe they wouldn't have done otherwise. So creators do have some degree of responsibility. I do think viewers of content have their own responsibility to themselves to, do their own due diligence, to not make moves because someone on YouTube says something. Just because someone is popular doesn't mean that they know what they're talking about, that they have good intentions, or that they're, working for you in a positive way. So, anyways. So there's also another thing I wanted to talk about that this annoys me a little bit more. I think there's people in the community who are gatekeepers. They feel like the only thing that should be talked about is something that is positive for the community. And somehow the only people who can discuss what is who can decide that is them. And there's people out there in the community that believe that. And I think that's utterly ridiculous. I think that's utterly stupid that, there's some small group of people that get to decide what's good for the community and what's bad for the community. How can they decide that? We're all part of the community. We all have a role to play, whether that's, something we tweet about, talking about our opinions. Is someone's opinion about something in the community, even though it's not very popular, does that mean that it's bad for the community? There's a lot of people out there, and that definitely annoys me. My channel, and so is Cavell's channel, is our names, right? My channel is Daniel Lee. That's my name. Cavell Anderson. That's his name. That should imply that what we talk about is not necessarily anything bad for the community or good for the community for that matter, but it's merely our opinion on certain topics. And you can decide whether you like that opinion or not. And you should vote with your eyeballs and vote with your clicks, right? So if you don't like a particular person's content, you think they're toxic or whatever, you think they're wrong, then don't watch the videos, right? Don't even click like or dislike, because you can make the argument that even a dislike helps them with the algorithm because of engagement. So, anyways, So, and I do want to talk about some other things too. Some people still believe to this day that I sold all of my Omi tokens. And I want to be very clear to the 106 people who are here. Thank you for tuning in and watching. If you do enjoy this type of content, please consider giving a like on the video. It does help with the algorithm. If you don't like what I'm saying, you don't want to support me, give a dislike. Leave a comment about why why you don't like me. So, well, what was I saying? I forgot what I was going to say there. So, oh yes, did I sell all my Omi tokens? No, I didn't. I sold only 25%. It was 2.5 million. I still have quite a bit of Omi. I won't say exactly how much I have, but I did buy some Omi recently, and I'm actually putting out a video tomorrow about why I'm still very bullish on this project. And part of it has to do with the conversation I had with Uncle Jeremy. I have a hard time pronouncing his last name, so I don't want to ruin it. But I need to go back and watch that and kind of learn how he says it with the pronunciation. But that interview with Uncle Jeremy made me way, way more bullish on Omi. And if you should definitely follow him on Twitter because he puts out some gems about ecomi and the Omi token in general that is really, really insightful. Guys should definitely check it out. But the way he talks about, or even during the interview, the way he talks about the burns and how we can, if we're at these prices, we could burn through the entire reserve wallet, in 6 or 7 years. There's another person on Twitter that had a model that he or she believes we could get through the vast majority of the reserve wallet, get to about 40% in 4.6 years. And when you think about how many people are coming into this app, we have over 1 million users of the app. I mean, if you told me that was going to happen 5 months ago, 6 months ago, I would have said absolutely not. Actually, if you watch my earlier videos, I predicted and projected that we would only hit at best 60 million. Of course, that's based off of just basic trending, but they've started dropping an exponential amount of content. Like if you look at what we're getting, like Coca-Cola, Steamboat Willie, right? That's great, man. I mean, and then you realize that there's 100 plus licensors probably coming in 2022. There's probably a lot that have been signed up very recently because people are seeing the success of what veve is doing. It's a great way to make additional money. That's what Jeremy was saying on a lot of these companies approach NFTs as a way to add a line on their profit and loss statement. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I think we're going to see actually exponential growth, at least for the next couple of years. I think it's going to be exponential. It's going to be really, really exciting there. So let me take some comments and stuff like that here. So Dymo says presumably he doesn't like Cavell because of the $10 Omi price prediction. And I kind of don't understand that. Like if you don't believe Omi is going to $10, and yes, I understand why you wouldn't like that. But like I was saying before, that is his opinion, whether it's right or wrong. And if you're invested in Omi, we would love to see a $10 Omi. Could it happen? I personally don't think so, but maybe it could. People, the argument there is that people didn't think Bitcoin would hit $69,000 years ago when it was trading at $1. So is it possible? Yes, it's possible. Is it feasible? I don't know. But then again, that's his opinion. You can't hate a person, or not hate. Hate's too strong of a word. You can't dislike a person because that's their opinion. I mean, that's literally his opinion. There's nothing wrong with someone's opinion. So Ricky Lee Reselling says, "Hey, Paper Hands Dan," or "Hey, Paper Hands." Yes, that's me. I'm actually okay with the nickname. I think I kind of take it in a positive. Pop says, funny how he wanted to put out the VV hacked vid as fast as possible, but then he put the 20-second merch ad at the beginning of the vid. Here's the thing. I don't see that as a problem. We know that YouTube is a big part of his business, his brand. He doesn't make videos for charity. He makes it because he gets ad revenue, and that represents, a decent part of his income. I don't know what else he does. I know he has a business. I know he does like YouTube consulting. Maybe he does other things. But I mean, that's like complaining that there's ads before like a Fox News or CNN bit. I mean, it's the nature of the business. I don't see a problem with that. I think Cavell's funny. Maybe not necessarily on his videos, but on his Twitter, he's very entertaining. Henchman says all he had to say was, in my haste to help warn the community, I failed to use the word Discord in the title and realize this may have caused unintended FUD towards the project as a whole. And here's another thing too. We know that the VV Twitter account put out. Let me find it here. What did they say? Okay, here it is. Actually, I lost it. Okay, here we go. They said, quote, to be clear, only the Discord was compromised. Ecomi VV was not. Don't believe the FUD clickbait. Now, obviously, that's kind of pointed at Cavell. And after that happened, I think that's when he actually changed the title of his video. In hindsight, would that have been a better strategy for him? Yeah, probably would have been. But he's got a strong personality, so maybe that would have been better in hindsight. But Michael B says very clickbaity. He also should have talked crap to the Ecomi team on Twitter about the Discord hack. I do agree with you though, there, Henchman. In hindsight, probably a better PR strategy would have been more apologetic. Probably could have come off differently. But he likes to fight, man. He's a strong personality. He likes to fight for what he deems as injustice against his character. Taps Trades, how's it going, man? Hope you're having a good Sunday. Financial News and Views, Dan the Man. Financial News and Views has a YouTube channel as well as Taps Trades. Definitely want to check them out. I actually think these two people here are some of the stronger YouTubers. They're definitely on my list of videos I watch. So definitely want to check them out. James D says, when fighting for viewers, a certain amount of clickbait titles have to be expected. Is it right? Not really, but it is the way it is. Unfortunately, all YouTubers, they make videos because they want their videos to be watched. I mean, they may not even have a financial incentive. There is a financial incentive. It's small, but there is there is an incentive. People make videos because they want it to be watched. They feel good about having a video that's well received by their community. And part of that is clickbait. Now, some YouTubers don't. Taps, he doesn't do a whole lot of clickbait. And he does really, really well. So it's not the only strategy out there. But in the short term, I think clickbait has its place. I think if you use clickbait I don't think whenever you completely clickbait the user, that always has a bad experience, right? Users have a bad experience with, viewers have a bad experience with that. But if you do it in a more tasteful way that, if you ever watch Graham Stephan, he has clickbait titles, but he does it in a very tasteful way where no one feels completely deceived by what was said there. Lori Brenner, if people are too dumb to do research, then that's on them. Don't blame I guess it's time to someone else. Part of me feels that way. I think there's a lot of people who are really, really make bad decisions. You shouldn't make any decisions based off someone's YouTube video. I think that's really there needs to be some degree of accountability there. Face Palm 15 says you apologized for clickbaiting and admitted you shouldn't have done it, and now you're saying 80% of you yourself feels you did nothing wrong. Pick a lane, bro. So what I'm trying to say is, Face Palm, is what I apologize for is if it negatively impacted people. That's how I feel. But another side of me feels like it's a free speech argument here. I think there needs to be some responsibility on the viewer. So that's what I'm trying to say there. Abe McGee says, I think Randy Chavez sold and took profit with Omi too. I don't think so. I don't know where you got that. Grant says Cavell's ego is bigger than his crypto knowledge. He has a good ego. He has a big ego. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You have to have a strong sense of self to do what he does. Ol the Dead Midget says, I strongly dislike the drama in the community. It's boring and a waste of time. I would agree with that. If it's not this, it's always something else. And mostly, I think a lot of people are just bored and they create their own kind of drama in and of themselves. Javier says Taps is the most serious Omi YouTuber and is very professional on what he does. I agree. Everyone has made mistakes on Omi price predictions. It's the viewer responsibility to believe it or not. Yes. I mean, honestly, every YouTuber that has made Omi price predictions has been 100% wrong. Every single one. I'm streaming. Yes, close the door. Elijah says Cavell is one of our best cheerleaders out there. Yeah, I think as an aggregate, I think what Cavell has done has been probably very productive overall. I think he exposed a lot of people to Omi. He was putting out news about Disney and Marvel before a lot of other people. So, really, what I think when I think about what he's done, still think he's a good, strong member of the community. I really do. Sleeping Comics, how's it going, man? Another great YouTuber. I watch his stuff. I'm not really huge into comics in terms of like collecting actual comics, but he does some good content there. Carolina Vintage Hi-Fi says, I thought free speech wasn't allowed in the States any longer. I don't know where you live, man. You must live in like California or something. uh yeah, and then Yoo-Hoo says that I don't think Cavell cried at all. I was trolling his Twitter just recently. I didn't see anything like that. So, anyways. Alan Thompson said Cavell is an OG legend. I don't like how it turned into a toxic pylon. Some people who have only been in the space 5 minutes were piling in on him. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying, like 6 months ago, there weren't a lot of YouTubers out there, right? Cavell was one of the first and probably um really one of the more informative YouTubers, to be honest. That's just my opinion. So the thing about YouTube and is that people are really short-sighted and they only look at you're only as good as your latest vid. There's that. How's it going, Pill 99? Alan Thompson. I've learned so much from Cavell over the past 10 months and witnessed how he gets lots of uncalled for grief. The reason Cavell gets so much grief, I think, is because he is unapologetic for what he does. He just says what he wants to say. He doesn't apologize for it, and that pisses people off. And I actually really respect that. The type of person that can be strong enough to just say what they want and just don't apologize for any of it. Strong person. Ebony says, what is everyone complaining about? Once you clicked and watched the video, he made it very clear that it was Discord and he saved a lot of people from losing their money. Stop being ungrateful. Mahadi says, Dan, have you ever experienced VR glasses? No, I am probably going to get an Oculus for this Christmas, though. Anyways, Ebony, we'll just close it out here. Ebony says, no, everyone is hypocritical in this community. All Omi YouTubers have clickbaited at some point. I'm starting to think these guys are jealous or don't like them for some reason. I think that's a good little summary there. But all right, guys, hope you enjoyed the stream. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.